Hey, what's happening, everybody? We are now on episode 13 of the Lifting Ugly podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And are you ready for this? I came up with a new tagline. Lifting Ugly podcast so sick you may get COVID of the ears. Bam!
Just ear sickness?
Ear COVID from listening to the podcast that is as sick as this one is right
so
here. I am Craig Bird, and alongside with me is...
Oh, I'm Alkai. How you doing?
And I see you added a K to your name up there on the screen.
Oh, there wasn't a K there before?
Maybe I'm just now noticing it. Fuck, I don't know. I don't know how these things work. I just jump on and hope for the best.
Just press the buttons and see what happens.
Yeah, just and then we'll see how things go from there. So how goes everything in your neck of the woods?
This week has actually been super chill. I got 4 days off in a row, which is, I don't know how that happened. Training is still meh. Still figuring out the deal with deadlifts. I'm starting to think that it's my belt that's causing me issues, at least with getting in a starting position, because I can't sink down low enough, and it's hard for me to get my full brace when I'm bent over, already in my half position to get into my starting position for pulls. I'm pretty sure that's how it happened that first time. I didn't get a full brace up at the top, went down to the bar, pulled, and that's when it like popped and shifted. So I think for a bit I'm just gonna roll beltless so I can focus on my starting position and kind of build my lower back better.
So what with the belt do you think will make it like? Do you need a different belt? Different
no,
size
it's more
belt,
just like
just...
I think it's just my stomach.
Just it's you versus the belt, and the belt's winning.
It's pretty much me versus the belt, and it's kind of hindering me from getting to where I need to be for my starting position. So I think I was talking with Ryan, and he's gonna we're just gonna stick with beltless for a bit, and I think it's a good idea. Because the strongest I've ever been was when we were running that Lily Bridge, and I was doing all that beltless deficits and stuff. Like my lower back was incredibly strong, and I would have to get back to that point. So
yeah,
I think we'll start working in some beltless deficits and all that kinds of stuff.
Yeah, I try and do as much beltless as I can for the time being. Just I don't know. It's running the belt, well, especially the belt I have right now with the prong and everything is such a pain in the ass to get set in position.
It's so annoying.
Yeah. So I was like, well, if I don't, if I do a heavy top set, then I'll worry about it. Other than that, I'm like, we'll roll beltless, and I don't know. So far, everything seems to be going well as far as that goes. But yeah, I kind of had, I don't know. I never finished my run of lifts this week, so I'm slightly irritated coming into today because, like I was saying, I put off between work and clients and everything yesterday. We pushed the podcast off to today. I pushed my deadlift session off to today, and then after I got done with my 3 clients this morning, I go deadlift platforms taken. Okay, well, and I was like, well, I'll do some rack pulls, just kind of do some variations and roll with it. And by the time I got everything set and went back out there, that station was then taken, and so it's one of those things like, I remember why I don't like to lift on Saturdays is because you just never, people who don't show up at certain times are there at that time on a Saturday. So I'm like, well, with the weekend I have ahead of me, I'm just gonna, I guess, chalk it up. So I'm not gonna get that in, and hopefully, maybe Monday, maybe Tuesday, I'll have to just kind of restart everything, and I might have to bypass deadlifts this week and then just really just crank them out next week, and see what happens there. You know what I mean?
There you go. I do know what you mean.
So I am coming to you live and in person, or recorded and in person, from Monument Fitness in Western Colorado, in the city of Grand Junction, in the location of the Redlands, in the grandest junction of them all, because there are a few of them. You can visit us at Monument.fitness. maybe it was confusing everyone before because I just put Monument Fitness, and there is in fact a dot in between on the Instagram page. So for anyone who I confused, which probably really wasn't anyone, I apologize if you happen to be out there and you cared.
Sorry, so I'm coming to you from. It's all good.
Yeah. I just want to make sure that nobody feels like I was trying to lead them astray, as it may be.
Fearless leader.
And Alkai is coming to us. Why don't you tell everyone where you are?
I'm in the black hole of Pacific Beach, San Diego.
In a house.
In a house.
There you.
That isn't mine.
But there's no sirens this
time. There's no sirens.
Well, not yet.
Yeah,
we still have time. I was thinking the other day. I'm like, and we need to it's been I think three episodes in a row that there's been sirens.
Yeah, so like during the introduction too, where where are you at?
we need to find a way to get those ambulances and fire trucks running by your house on a regular basis.
Yeah. Oh, don't worry. Like if I lived closer to the bars too, you'd hear it every 5 minutes.
Yeah. It'd be white noise at that point.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
All right. If you want to follow or see what's going on with Lifting Ugly, you can follow on Instagram at lifting_ugly. You can search Lifting Ugly anywhere that you might be. Facebook, Instagram, blah, 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 YouTube. And make sure you search on your podcast platforms to be able to listen. You may not be able to see our beautiful faces, but you can listen to us. If you have any questions, comments of any kind, or to submit your Lifting Ugly Face of the Week, please do so at the Instagram, lifting_ugly. And I will be more than happy to put those up and see if we can make you a winner.
Get those in and make my day.
They are the best. And we've been getting new submissions, which is always fun. And so we like seeing those and people get excited about that.
Oh yeah.
If you want to go talk to and have a little conversation with Alkai, you can do so. If you are not already attached to a cyber terrorist network, you can get a hold of him still at Salty Boy with an I _barbell. That is SALTYBOI_ spell out barbell. It's not that hard. I trust you can do that. And you can find out about his life in general.
Whatever you need. Yeah.
Coaching. He would appreciate that. The more people that contact him about coaching, well, that are going to pay him for it, the better.
Yes. The less time I have to spend in the bars.
Yes. And not being a barfly. Let's make sure that they understand that you don't just hang out at the bars because you have clients and you're crying in your beer.
Yeah.
So he's in the bar because he's working there.
Yes.
Not because he's not trying to be Norm.
No, I'm not a sad bar patron.
All right. For any this is me. It's Craig Legacy Life. If that's a thing that you're interested in, it is more of a personal page. So anything that goes on in personal life, that's where I post it. I try not to. I don't cross them over too much. So
yeah,
if you're interested in what goes on in my family, I guess that's fine. Go for it.
Yep.
And then that's kind of what I post there. For any of your graphics needs, whether it be art, computer graphics, make sure to visit Zon at zontopia.com or at Zontopia on Instagram. You can support us with monthly draws that we will receive and be happy to receive at patreon.com/liftingugly. We do have different tiers set up there. So if that's the direction you want to go, you can feel free to do that. You should do that. We would appreciate that. Another way to show support is by going to liftingugly.com, where you can buy all the sweet, sweet Lifting Ugly gear that is available there. Make sure to go on and check out hats, shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, shorts. There's a flag that you can use for your gym, gym, or your commercial gym. You can just put it up there and don't even ask. Just put it up there. They'll think it's great. What else? Cell phone cases. Yeah, so we've got it. And if I don't have it and you want it, message me on the Instagram and say, hey, what about this? And I'll see what I can do for you.
I mean, by the time I compete by the end of summer, I would like a Lift Ugly singlet.
Yeah, those are gonna have to be specially done.
And that's fine.
I am gonna push those out because I do have the 2 girls that are gonna be competing in South Dakota. Nice. And so I do want to at least have one for each of them.
Yeah.
So I will have kind of hopefully by then I'll have the general, like where I'm going to send them to and who's going to do the printing of those. And by that point,
nice.
That is my goal.
And also socks would be sick.
Deadlift socks. That is, yeah, it's really hard, which is weird to find knee-high socks that I can get printed on. Kind of dumb. But I do keep an eye out to see what comes about. Also, now if you go to liftingugly.com, you can do one-time support payments for us on the podcast. That is now available. So here are the tiers. Dun, dun, dun. Entry level is our Gymshark level. Actually, let me get rid of this caption here real quick so that it doesn't cover that up. Gymshark level. Let's see. Dip your toe in, noob. Eventually, you'll want to upgrade because that's how progression works.
It does, just like lifting.
That's right. So for the $3 donation, we will show our appreciation and we will give you a shout out on the podcast and probably on the Instagram page as well. If you want to step up just a little bit, we do have the pretty lifting level. You can't see how sweet the picture is necessarily, but that is a man in a unitard. So,
dear God.
Let's see if I. So the description on this one is you're doing good, but still feel the need to check yourself regularly in the mirror and make sure your kicks match your gear. We'll happily accept your contribution and look forward to watching your growth.
Love that. That's
the pretty lifting level. Then we have general athletic supporter. And yes, that is a picture of a jock strap.
I love that.
So welcome to the game. You are graduated to the average group of people. So with all these 3 levels, we will make sure that we give you some little bit of promotion of yourself and what you got going on. And that is the $10 level. $20 level is the Lifting Ugly support level. And as you in the description, if you are watching this, one of us. And it says you may or may not receive a gift for donating at the $20 level. I promise you nothing, but it could be something. That's what the risk you take for supporting us on those levels. So those are available at the liftingugly.com website. So just, make sure you go there so that way, if you're not a Patreon fan, if you don't want to go into that level, you can do that. And, if we get the 10 regular people that listen to our podcast, each donate $3 a month, then we each get $15.
Ooh.
And you know what?
Lunch right there.
I wouldn't be mad at that either because I don't. No. That's $15 more than I have right now.
Yeah.
So that is greatly appreciated.
Love it.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we do have a new sponsor.
You shut your face.
No, I will not. So with communications and I don't know, I receive a benefit of this as of now. Maybe sometime in the future we'll get you benefited as well. But Pioneer Lifting Belts.
Wow.
Has come to the table. So come on, anyone who's used them knows Pioneer Lifting Belts are the benchmark of lifting belts.
I will say gold standard.
Yeah, at a minimum gold standard. You have everything from a general lifting belt, old school style, you all the way up to regular weightlifting belts with a 10 millimeter.
Bench belts. They have deadlift belts. Yeah. They got lever belts, single prong, double prong. They got the Pioneer cut. They make dog collars.
They do make those dog collars were pretty sweet.
They're
they
sick.
Also they have wrist wraps, knee wraps.
Oh, they do. That's right.
They do have lifting straps as well. So the couple things. So you can go visit them. The website is on there for those of you that are listening. Their website is actually generalleathercraft.com, and that carries all their Pioneer gear. They've been in business since 1979, incorporated in 1982. They have been doing fitness accessories, including the belts, from the very beginning. Pioneer Lifting is just kind of, it's their main brand under the General Leathercraft because they do other things as well. Yeah. As we mentioned with the dog collars and wallets and whatnot. But that is they told me, they said, think Chevy to GM.
Yeah.
So Pioneer Lifting belts are the Chevy to General Motors. Ladies and gentlemen.
I've had mine forever. They last forever.
And I remember when you did your latch broke on a squat.
Mm-hmm.
And you got a replacement latch for free.
For free. And it did not take very long.
It was about a week and a half, maybe.
It was like 5 to 6 days.
I was gonna say, I think you had it by the next squat day. You had it available. Yep. So we want to welcome Pioneer Lifting Belts to the Lifting Ugly team. And I would assume in the next 6-ish weeks, I will have a new product to show everyone that should be pretty sick.
You're going to be so excited.
I am already excited, and I'm just thinking about it. Like every day I think about it, and I'm going to wear it everywhere. Maybe not completely latched, but at least I'm at least put it in there, and I'm just going to walk around.
Mm-hmm. You have to walk with the blue steel, though.
Yeah. And I'll get that strut. I'll get that strut going on.
Love it.
So, also on that note, I'm going to be trying for next week. The president of Pioneer Lifting Belts will be a guest on the podcast.
No way.
So, how about that shit, huh?
That's insane.
Yep. So they said they're all for it. His name's Matt. He said he'd be willing to get on and go through an interview on the podcast. So I'm going to try and get it set up this week so that he can be on with us next Friday. So for your heads up, you got to think of some questions.
Oh, okay.
I would say lifting or non-religious. Let's throw him some curveballs.
Okay.
With some different questions that he may not be expecting when it comes to being interviewed on a supposed lifting podcast.
Sounds good.
So, but I'm excited. Like the people there have been so awesome, dealing with them, Pioneer Lifting Belts, everyone I've talked to there has been the best. They're just, for as big of a company as they are, they run it so small. I mean, you get to talk to people, they respond. It's just super cool. Glad to have them on board. Whether they thought they were officially going to be on board or not, I'm officially putting them on board because really,
why not?
Who else are we going to put on?
I mean, not a bad start, dude. Not a bad start.
I'm pretty like I'm fucking giddy about this shit.
Yeah, it's exciting.
So next week, I saw we had somebody jump on. Next week, make sure to look out. We are going to be campaigning. Oh, and then they jump off. So now they can't hear live. Now they have to come back to. So anyway, anyone listening again, next week we're going to be pushing. Next week or the week after, we will have Matt, the president of Pioneer Lifting, on the podcast as a guest. So that'll be awesome. All right, next on the agenda, we had a good face of the week. We had some good submissions this week. We had 3 that put in, and 3 highly qualified submissions, I would say.
Mm.
Did you see them?
Yeah. I saw Isaac's, I saw Ethan's, and
Randy's pooping gorilla face.
Yeah, Randy's just ugly all the fucking time, though. So
it's almost not fair because he does have an advantage over most other people. But the winner, let's put this over here. I mean, really by a landslide, it wasn't even close. Was Ethan.
Gotta love it.
I mean, he's got the plugs in the nose and everything.
Yep.
I mean, that's just, he went for it.
Kids' numbers are getting good too.
Yeah, he's getting strong. I saw he had some spots on his videos from Huts and from Austin. So he's up there. He's working with some good people to
the pinnacle place.
Yeah, I mean, if I ever venture that far north, I definitely have to go check that place out. So congratulations to Ethan. Make sure you go check him out at ethan.strong.nd, because he is in ND, which would stand for North Dakota, for anyone who was not aware. So ethan.strong.nd, make sure you go check him out. I will put that all up on the Instagram page so everyone can go watch his progression, which, like we said, is pretty sweet, I would have to say. All right, so last week we started again, and I wanted to kind of keep it going, was the conversation starter. So another question from from the interview I did. I thought it was a decent question. It was easy for me to answer, so we'll see what you come up with. So it's scenario. We got to have a story. Scenario time.
Yep.
You wake up in the morning. There's a sticky note on your pillow that says that you have $2 million in your bank account. No matter how much money you spend, you will always have $2 million in your account. The only catch is that you have to carry a job the entire time. What would be the job that you would choose, and why?
I mean,
and then the other part is what would be the first thing you would think, besides who the hell snuck into my room and put a sticky note on my pillow while I was sleeping?
I'd rather it be on my forehead.
Yeah. And you're like, what the?
Well, the first thing I would do.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd give cash to my parents right off the bat, no questions asked. All four of their crazy asses. And then I'd give a good chunk to each one of my siblings. And then, because you said there's always $2 million in there, right?
There's always $2 million in there, but the catch is, and this is what we'll get to, is you have to maintain a job the entire time.
Yeah, that's
and so after your initial gifts, what would be the job that you would take, and why?
I mean, I would just keep doing my coaching stuff. Yeah, for sure. I would put it towards a small private facility in an area that would need a cool little gym. I would load it with the best shit possible. Hire a killer staff. I've always dreamt about having like a nutritionist, a massage therapist, and a chiropractor on staff. And I think that's about it. Would I need, like, do I have to spend $2 million each day, or is it just
no? You don't have to spend a certain amount. You have to maintain. You can't stop working.
Yeah,
is basically the only. So I had like the same answer you did, because she's like, well, what would you do? And I'm like, I'd do exactly what I'm doing.
But
I said, but I would expand it. So I would take, because the original idea, well, not the original idea, one of the ideas I had that we kind of kicked around, but we figured we need about $1 million investment, which we're not doing ourselves, and trying to campaign that money is not the easiest thing in the world. But we wanted to take over the empty grocery store, build it out, do an enclosed small gym inside there where it was, machinery, open floor space, kind of like our back room is, where kind of the older crowd, the people who don't want a lot of loud, obnoxious things
side.
going on. Yeah, commercial side where they can be separated from everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
Put a studio area with mirrors, hardwood floors. You could rent out for dance studio stuff, posing, all that kind of stuff. One of those types of areas, and then have just the big ass area, like you said, top of the line equipment, lots of open floor space, music out loud, and so and then also because this was an old grocery store, there's all the back room area that's closed off. So section, and this was our idea, and this is what we were hoping we could do eventually. Section those, rooms off, and like you said, have an esthetician that would do, they could do hair, nails, all that kind of shit, massage therapist, chiropractor, just kind of all the self-care stuff, just kind of all around the outside of, the perimeter of what the facility would be. So that's kind of the idea we had a long time ago. And so, if I had an endless supply of $2 million that was always in the bank, you better believe that that's what I'm doing. And then I'm hiring. And then I'm hiring people to clean, because that's the most annoying part. And people that walk around throughout the day that help people out and put shit back where it's supposed to go. Because between cleaning and putting stuff back after people, like those are the two worst parts about owning a gym.
Oh my God, yeah.
And it gets, I swear, man, sometimes like I might I just want to start smacking people. Like, what were you thinking? Like, what was the thought behind this whole?
Oh my God, the mud and everything that
the
mud in the monument.
The mud, the group of people that can never seem to put anything away and always consistently leave things behind.
Yep.
You know them well.
I know a few of them.
So all I can do is I just walk around. I'm like, oh, these motherfuckers again.
Yeah.
Oh. So I'll talk to them again, and they'll be cool about it. They always are. They know who they are.
Yep.
And they'll be better for a little while, but they're grown toddlers. So they do better for a little while, and then they revert back to what they did before. And we get to start the cycle all over. So anyway, with my $2 million, that's what I would do as well. Just kind of a dope facility, top of the line equipment, get everything expanded, hire staff, so that way I can just enjoy the fact that I own a gym, which, everyone's like, oh, I want to own a gym. And I'm like, yeah, it's not as great as you think it is.
Yeah. You have to like business more than lifting.
Yeah. If you don't have the financial backing to hire staff to do all the monotonous day in, day out stuff, it's not as fun as it seems. Yep. You don't get to lift all day. That's the big misnomer.
Yeah.
And you have to enjoy the business side of things, and you may not have a lot of your own time. This is kind of the business run of things. You don't have to answer to anybody really, which is why you do it, why you do those things in the first place. But you are always working. It never really stops. So you never really have time off, but at least it's your time. You get to do it how you want to do it. And so that's the trade-off of any business, not just a gym, but a gym especially, because it does take a lot. Takes a lot of time to keep everything together. So my $2 million, your $2 million in the account. So we're on the same page. So we'll just we'll put our when we get that magical note, we'll just make sure that we'll put them in different areas.
Yeah. Or just one big sick spot.
And then just attract everyone from everywhere. It'll become a vacation destination.
Oh yeah. I wonder how much it would be to like buy out like a Mesa Fit or something like that.
You know what? I'd rather run them out than buy them out.
Or that's fair. I'll take it.
Like I'd rather not like have them have the benefit of receiving anything in return. I'd just rather see them watch their numbers just
Yeah. Yes.
into just a disaster.
Yeah.
If a commercial gym is all you have available to you, then hey, do what you got to do. Otherwise, if you have a local gym somewhere available to you, you better believe that that's going to be the best spot for you to lift, the best spot for you to make progress, because that's where your motivation comes from, those spots, not from the commercial gyms. Commercial gyms, you can go there, you can pick up a date, you can look like the strongest person in the world compared to everyone else, if that's what your goal is. But yeah, if you want to see progress, you find a good local spot, local owned spot, and they're going to have the lifters. They're going to have the motivation that you need to make the progress. So go do that.
Unless your MO is to pick up chicks, then go fuck yourself anyway.
Yeah, and those people, we've had a few of those that have joined, and they don't last long.
They're flash fry lifters.
Yeah, and not that we have women that work out here, and we have
totally.
And we have women that work out here that are attractive, but those women are here to lift.
Mm-hmm.
So
fuck alone.
Yeah. So we're going to talk a lot of shit to you if you're trying to pick them up, because leave them alone. Let them do what they do, because they're doing it better than you probably.
I would love to see some asshole like hit on Maria or some shit.
Oh yeah.
I would lose it. I think I'd piss myself laughing because she is ruthless.
Yeah, she is a good one. Most of the girls we have that work out here are too nice to probably be really rude up front.
Yeah.
But you better believe all the guys around.
Well, because they know they don't have to, because we're gonna be there and be like, "Hey, motherfucker."
Yeah. What do you think you're doing there?
Yeah. What's your MO here, bud?
Yeah. Do you want to put your shirt back on? Maybe you're not impressing anybody.
No, go to the back in the mirrors. That's why it's there.
Yep. You can take your pictures there, and so that you don't need to work out shirtless to try and impress anyone who's here. Because
I guarantee you won't.
Yeah, we're not impressed.
No.
You may look better than me shirtless, but I still don't care.
Yeah, I'm so much stronger than you. I don't care what you're saying.
Unless you're one of those like very few freaks that I'm extremely jealous of that can run a lean body mass and still move stupid weight.
As Seth said, unless you have a kilt. That's very fair.
If you know what, if you have a kilt, you do whatever the hell you want in the gym.
Fucking
I will apply that would be just the best.
You never got to meet Big Josh, huh?
Yeah, I did briefly. He brought in one of the mock meets we did. He had one of his kids.
Oh, that's right. Okay, cool. So every Saturday or Sunday we do we call it Strongman Sunday, and we'd buy a bottle of Jameson. We'd hit deadlifts, smoke cigars, do strongman runs, and he would wear a kilt the entire time.
Well, then if you're gonna do shit like that, that's really the only way you can do it is wearing a kilt.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
like we'd be running yoke and there's just a bogey in his mouth, or we'd hit heavy singles on deads and be slamming Jameson the entire time.
Okay, now did he wear a kilt the way that it's supposed to be worn?
With no BVDs?
Yeah.
Was
he like? Yes. He's like just balls swinging.
Yeah, him and his fucking pet iguana hanging from the middle of his pants.
Oh, so that's why
Josh's penis.
That's why his name is Big Josh.
Yep, big red strength, more like big red girth.
It's not the size of the man, but it's the size of the man on the man.
Yeah.
Hey, so speaking of free flopping, for some reason, and it sounds super gay that I say this, but it's like come to my mind many times this week, and I don't know why that's the case, but
room's starting to spin real fast.
For real.
Because of gayness.
So anyone who doesn't know, so during the shutdown, we took a lot of equipment into my garage, and we had a handful of people that were lifting out of there, including Alkai and that group of folks. And I remember we were squatting, correct?
Yeah.
And Alkai lifts in board shorts, I guess you would say.
For the most part, yeah.
Yeah. So goes down to squat. There's a nice big tearing sound. And so instead of telling everyone that he ripped his shorts, he proceeded to go over to the side, bend over, and show everyone
my beanbag.
What is it? Oh, what is it? Charlie referred to earlier this week as well, for women, but it'll work here, as a panty hamster.
Oh, panty hamster.
I think that fits more appropriately with. I think that fits more appropriately with what we got shown that day than anything that it was.
Yeah. So let's balls.
And I don't know that any of us really expected it, and it was kind of a shock, and it was it was funny, but
poor Keenan has had to deal with that so many times.
And he's probably the most conservative or shy, like, I don't know how you'd put it.
He's
the type it would bother more than any of the rest of us.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, that's the best fucking part about it.
Yeah, it probably slightly scars him every time.
Mm-hmm. When we go into our gym stories, I got a good one for 970.
Well, see, this is kind of my segue.
I love that
into the gym story. Okay. So you fire away with yours.
Okay, so we're at 970, the most fake place on earth. We were squatting, and my shorts blew open, and Keenan was sitting on a bench right behind me and was like half on his phone, kind of not paying attention. Heard a pop because he thought it was like my hip or like my knee or something like that. Looks up and just sees my balls and my asshole. Because the shorts tore from like top of my gooch to all the way almost to my ass crack. And he said he looked up and just saw cornhole. But I kept going. I didn't stop my squat set. I was like, you heard it, like the video. I filmed it from the side. You can hear the pop, and I go, oh, and then I got right back up. And Keenan's like half rushing off the bench, and he's all, oh my god.
All right. So question to that: did he stay on the bench while you finished?
He was actually a gentleman and spotted me.
Wow, with an open access point and everything, huh?
A full-fledged access point, yeah.
So, okay, so let's recap here.
Yes,
you're on the squat.
I'm on the squat.
Squat down, blow your seam completely.
100%.
Wide open.
Floodgates.
No underwear to buffer.
I don't wear underwear.
I usually don't when I'm lifting either. It's just it's too restricting. Extra restriction. Yeah. Keenan's behind you.
He is.
Sees it all, hears it, sees the result.
Yep.
And instead of getting up and running off, he decides that's the point. He needs to get up and give you a good underhook spot for the rest of the set.
Yeah, he didn't really get underneath and like spot me. He like out of sheer panic because he heard a pop and he was like half paying attention. Like you can see in the video, he's like, oh, and like gets up and then he stands up and he's like, oh, what the fuck? And he's like, ah.
So I guess to his defense, it kind of took him by surprise. He wasn't really expecting.
It was a game of peekaboo he did not want to play.
So it took him a minute to process that information.
Yes.
His immediate response was to help because although he may be a forgetful and messy fellow, he is a very nice person.
Yes.
So his immediate response is help, and then wait, did I just? Yes, I did just see that.
Well, he's easily spooked. So yeah. Scaring that guy around the house was the funniest shit ever.
And that's a whole lot of person to scare.
That's a whole lot of man to scare.
So anyone who doesn't know, Keenan's what, 6'2", 6'1", 6'2", and 360, 70-ish pounds.
the best hips you could ever ask for.
And he's a giant teddy bear for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it makes it even more funny.
Yeah,
because he's was he a sheltered child growing up?
Maybe, I think so.
He kind of seemed like he might have been
came in and wrecked shop. That's for fucking sure.
Yeah, if he was sheltered, you tore that shelter down.
Oh, 100%. His favorite thing to say to me was, "You need help."
Well, he's not
lying. I'm past that. Yeah.
Yeah. It's probably true, but that's an expensive line that we really don't want going down anymore.
No, it's no.
So I'm trying to think, like funny gym stories that I've been involved in. Like, I don't know, one of the best ones. It didn't happen to me personally. I got to watch it, and then I got to record the video of it off of the video. This is when we had high school kids that were coming in working out.
Yeah.
And for the most part, they were fine besides, being high school kids. Yeah. So one of them's on the treadmill, just kind of jogging, just minding his own business. His older brother comes in, and I know his idea was to mess with him. I'm just not sure exactly how he thought this was going to work out in his favor. So as his brother's jogging, his idea is to plant his foot really hard on the belt of the treadmill. And as he does so, it doesn't slow down the belt one bit. It whips his legs out from underneath him and shoots him back against the office door. So I hear like the of the belt.
Yeah.
And then I look and see him flying back and then just in this heap of a person. So I go back and watch the video, and man, I couldn't stop laughing. Like this was one of the best things, because it was like, it's one of those things that you see, but you never see in person happen.
Oh yeah, totally.
Just that completely whip, and then the belt just shooting him right off of the treadmill.
Like, thank God the camera was there.
Yeah, and then all his brother was still jogging, and then just turns and was like, huh? And then
it's just instant karma.
And so that's one I couldn't post because I didn't feel right posting it because they were all under 18, and
they don't know.
But I did share it to, I'd say, hey, look, watch this. This is so funny. So that was a good one. That's probably one of my favorite ones. As far as ones that's happened to me personally, I did have one that afterwards was pretty funny. And this was when I was at Gold's, when it was Gold's before it turned to Mesa.
Yeah.
And I was still in my first probably couple years back lifting. Mm-hmm. And I didn't do flat bench just because my shoulders always hurt too much. I hadn't really built a solid, muscle around it to kind of to buffer that yet. So I only did incline bench. Mm-hmm. So my incline bench was pretty strong. And I was going one day, I think I had, can't remember. Anyway, it was 315 or 405, one of them on an incline bench. And whatever rep it was, I come down, go back up, everything's just fine. And then all of a sudden, like, just everything goes out. Like, chest isn't pushing. And so then it just comes down and it's sitting, between upper pec and neck. And it's not like crushing me, but I'm just holding it. And then I'm holding it and I'm just kind of looking around. Like hey, can anyone see what's going on here? And I can't really talk because I'm all out of breath. Like I don't really have the, I'm exhausted. I can't really just.
Yeah.
It felt like I was holding it there for like a minute or two. It was probably only like 15 or 20 seconds before I got unburied. So I felt like a fucking idiot. Just because it's one of the few times I've really overshot my ability.
That you'll learn today.
Yeah, that taught me a few things. Mm-hmm. So, and the other thing it taught me was, well, of course, I knew I could roll it down. I just didn't really want to because
on an incline too. Oh,
that causes a whole nother level of pain, especially when you get down to your lower regions and pinchings and smashings that may take
I
place.
mean, like, regardless of dick and balls, how about just like your hips? Like, ow.
I know.
And then you have to like
push that
try
shit
and
off of
scoop
yourself.
that bar off your hip. If no one's
Uh-huh.
there, I guess you're closing shop and you're sitting there overnight.
Yeah, luckily there were a couple guys that came in and helped get that off of me. And I was just like, yeah, it's one of those things. Like, I had a hard time looking either one of them in the eye afterwards because I'm just like,
yep.
I had no I had no business lifting that. I know.
But at least you looked big, so at least it was like, oh, he was just attempting something. But oh well.
I put the I put the effort in. I thought really at that time I thought I was bigger than I was.
We all have to learn the hard way. Like God, that first time we saw Phil lifting when he was squatting.
Oh my gosh, that was the other one I was thinking of. I'll let you. Yeah, because we were both there because we were just the two of us were just
we were both standing there watching, like, what the fuck is this kid doing?
All right, I'm gonna let you describe this one because this was great. Because especially anyone who knows Philip now, like, because he, for as small of a frame he is, he can push some weight now.
Dude, Philip is getting strong, like strong.
But he started out nowhere, and this is where we first really came across him. I'm gonna let you.
That was the day I got business from him too.
Yes, it was.
So Craig and I are standing by the Raptor squat rack by the front door, and young blood Philip, who looks like a wet fucking noodle, is in the squat rack in the far corner of the gym, and he has it was like 225, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
Like,
and he had his spotter bars set because that's an important part of the story. Spotter bars were set just in case.
It really is. So here's the best part about it. So Homeboy was doing it was maybe like 2-3 reps that were like, you should probably rack that. Goes down for, it was more than one, right? Or was it just that one?
No, it was like his third or fourth rep, I think, is what he had ran because we were just kind of keeping an eye because he was a little off.
Yes, 100%. So he's coming down into the hole, gets stuck. Where the what do I call the
spotter bars?
Yeah, the spotter bar. Jesus. Yeah, where the spotter bars were, he lets go of the bar, hunches over, grabs the spotter bars, and dips himself back up to walk it back to the rack.
Yeah, I mean, and I mean, just the picture too. So this is hard to picture without seeing it. I mean, because it was impressive. Like, as bad as it was, it's super impressive to be able to take your hands.
Heavy.
You're on a back squat, so it's resting across. It's across his shoulders, and he takes his hands completely off the bar.
Which is
so that bar is just sitting. Yeah, sketchy as fuck. Just sitting on his shoulders, in his back, and pushes himself off those spotter bars to stand it up and walk it back with no fucking hands.
Yeah. And then barely goes back to grab the bar and walks it back, and then gets out of the rack. And I'm standing there like this, looking right at him like, dude, what the fuck was that? So I took it upon myself to pimp myself out, and then we started working with each other
a week or I was gonna say maybe a week later.
Mm-hmm.
And then he learned how to do everything properly. He fixed all his stuff, and now his last meet, I think he was in the 400s on his squat.
Oh yeah, no, he'll be in the 5s at his next meet. His pull has to be close to 585 for his next meet, and then he'll probably bench 315-ish.
Yeah, and he's like $180.
Yeah, he's looking. He's mighty thick. Well, yeah, he's thick. Boy's getting there.
I say, speaking of thick, I came across Jordan for the first time I had seen him. I think it was last week. He is very thick.
Yeah.
He is a bowling ball for sure.
Yeah. We're gonna have to
he's
adjust
getting,
his macros a little bit.
yeah, he's almost as thick as he is tall these days.
Yeah. No,
He said he's got
like
about
a manhole cover.
he said he's got about another half inch before he grows out of his Pioneer lifting belt.
So what I'm thinking is we're gonna have to shave down his fats because the boy is looking mighty thick. But he got I think he got food poisoning or stomach flu or something.
Oh, okay.
So hopefully, maybe he shed off a little bit of weight doing that.
I don't know. He's it's working for him, and I'm not like not shit talking him, but it's just funny because he went. So Jordan was somebody that we put on stage as a bodybuilder in July.
Yep.
And so he went from shredded 6-pack. I think his stage weight was between 265 and 270, and I think he's about 205. Oh, he's over 200 now, right?
Oh yeah. Oh, you say 165?
Yeah, he's like between 165 and 170.
Yeah,
is what he was on stage, and so he's 30-40 pounds heavier now than
he's got to be cruising. He's got to be cruising around 200, 2something. I told him I was like, I think leverage wise, if we can get you to just cruise around 200 to 210. And we either do like a small water cut before the meet or just have you roll at the 220s. Because I want to make sure that like his torso doesn't get too wide or to get him too fucking thick because him getting down to the deadlift part is going to be a fucking nightmare.
Yeah, he's gonna start running into the same problem you have.
Literally the same problem that I have, but I have a gross gut and he has he's bricked out. We'll say that.
Yeah. And he may need to buy a new Pioneer belt. Pioneer lifting belts. GeneralLeathercraft.com. Order your custom Pioneer belt. He may have to give me one of those.
Sponsor.
Sorry, I thought that was a perfect opportunity to just give an impromptu plug.
No, please do it.
To our new friends at Pioneer.
Oh, I can't wait to have that guy on the podcast. It's so cool.
So yeah, that'll be awesome. Do you have any other stories offhand, or?
Let's see. I don't want to name his name because I don't know if he lives at Monument anymore. But there was that one morning where I was training with. It was in the afternoon because I think Randy was there. It was either early morning or like mid afternoon. Some fucking genius was on the decline bench in the Red Smith machine in the front room. And I'm pretty sure we have it on camera. You remember this?
I remember.
So when you have a barbell in your hands, this is for the people that maybe don't know or like to do stupid shit in the gym. Do me a favor and keep the bar in your hands and try not to throw it in the air. So here's what I mean by that. You're laying on a decline bench. You're already fighting gravity because you're at a decline. And you have a bar in your hands, which is connected to the Smith machine. That's the only saving grace, I'll say.
Yeah.
He had like a 25 on the outside and was throwing it in the air and sliding it back down and catching it, which might have been one of the dumbest things I've ever seen. Because even the guy that was standing with him was like, what the hell is going on here?
And so
like,
anyone who may be wondering, there is zero benefit to this action. There's a whole lot of drawback to doing this. A whole lot of potential injury. Yeah. Hyperextend elbows. Let's see. You could easily tear a rotator cuff that way.
I mean, you could out of your wrist. You could catch a finger. Yeah. You could slip and eat it to your face. You could break a rib. Like, I mean, the only reason I could see someone maybe doing that is for like force output. But please do a different variation, like into a pin press or banded speed work or just something like that. Don't throw a fucking barbell out of your hands.
Even if you're wanting to do it that way, you don't need to let the bar leave your hands. You can easily
keep the bar in your hands.
You could easily basically push it hard enough that it takes the pressure off of you, but still keep it in your hands and then re-engage the tension. It's not rocket surgery, people.
For these people, it may be.
Which is why, if you have any questions or if you need to do anything, hire yourself a coach.
Yeah.
Because then if you have dumb ideas like that, we will happily tell you to not do that anymore.
Yeah.
And we may laugh at you for a brief second. If you had
carry over for a bit.
If you had already tried it once and you're like, well, I used to do this. And we say, okay, so we're going to rethink our relationship here real quick. Yeah, that I do remember. I remember you sent me that one. Actually, I think you posted that one.
I did.
You did a good job hiding the face.
Yeah. Thankfully, all you could see was the bald spot.
Yeah. So anyone who knew, and anyone who didn't know probably wouldn't have been able to figure it out. So
I showed it to Randy, and he was like, "What the fuck is that?"
Yeah.
Coming from the guy who misses a rack on incline.
Yes, and that's coming from the guy. Yeah, the guy who is incline pressing, bounced the bar off of the rack, and proceeded to hit himself in the back of the head with the bar, and
then dropped it.
Surprisingly, didn't hurt himself, but yes, and then dropped it.
Yep.
So even he was wondering what the fuck.
Oh yeah.
That's not a good sign. That's
no.
Oh. So I'm sure if anyone has any stories out there, we would love to hear from everyone else. So even if you want to just do like a brief video, just shooting a story, send it to us on the Instagram page, lifting_ugly. And we'd love to revisit other people's, fun stories that they've partaken in.
Maybe next week we can do like a shitty lifting story of the week. And whoever has the
best,
the crappiest one,
the crappiest, the best crappy story.
Yep.
Okay, I like that. I like that. So we'll do
if we
best story time story potentially next week. If we get enough people to participate.
Yep.
All right. So we are going to go to everyone's favorite game.
Bring it on.
White lights, red lights. Alki, what are we talking about here?
Oh, it's a brisk summer morning.
Just the fucking descriptions are best.
The dew is just now settling on the grass. You walk it up to the facility where you're doing your meet. You get to the front door. You open it up. You see the welcoming committee. You see the tables. You see the stands. You see the equipment. They go over the briefing. Everything's all good. You go for your first attempt, your second attempt, your third attempt. What we're looking for, what the judges are looking for as a coach, what am looking for. Eyes. Are at least 2 white lights or 3 white lights. That is a passing score. You had a fantastic lift. Everything moves smoothly, or at least up to judging specs, and you walk away with a PR or a new total.
And possibly a sweet medal.
Or a sick fanny pack.
Sick fanny pack was given away once by a pretty awesome company.
We're doing our best.
Or cash prizes.
Ooh.
So cash prizes is what we're contributing to the Black Hills Classic.
Yep.
As well as a booth. But
if I'm feeling good at that point, I really want to try and make that meet.
Just at least go up there, throw some numbers in.
Yeah. Just punch in the time clock.
There you go. All right. White lights. So 3 white lights, perfect score. 2 white lights, passing score. Anything less than that is a failing score.
But you know what? I can appreciate the hustle, and I can appreciate the absolute tenacity it takes when you kind of push out a crappy lift, but you put your balls to the wall.
Sometimes they just get smashed while they're up there.
Or your lady balls, because Nicole just said I know all about those red lights.
Yeah, because she got one of them. She acts like it was so bad. She got a red light.
You still did good. Get over yourself.
Yeah. She still won. I mean, shit.
Yeah.
All right. So today's white lights, red lights. It'll be a very obvious theme to it. So they're all movies.
No.
So we're going to start with Finding Nemo.
Oh. You know what? There are parts in it that are classic. but as a whole, it wasn't really one that I got into very much. I'm gonna say 2 reds, 1 white, just for the small moments that movie has.
The only reason I would go 2 white lights, 1 red light is because when Julia was a baby, I could put her in her little bouncy seat and put that movie on, and she would be completely enamored, and it would give me an hour and a half to go get stuff done. So,
see, well, yeah, you got the parenting aspect from it. I'm just coming from a purely spectator standpoint. Yeah.
So the next one, I know exactly. I just had to do this because it's gonna make me laugh. Mm-hmm. Moana.
I'm closing. If you're a fan of the Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, get hit by a bus. God, I hate that fucking movie. Like, I'm not a fan of sing-along shit in the first place. But when you have the most whitewashed Polynesian on this entire planet, and you put him into a role where they're claiming it's a Hawaiian movie, but it's really a Samoan story, like, it's the only saving grace that I can find for that movie is they found a local girl to play the chick. If I can give half a light, I'll do it. But even then, I'm just going to 3 reds across the board. Like, I can't stand that shit. I don't need to see a Disney rendition of Polynesian culture. Thank you very much.
Yeah, since they destroy everything else on the planet.
Yeah, they just ruin everything. Yeah. Thanks, Star Wars.
So, I think I've seen parts of that movie. I didn't really care either way on that one.
No.
Again, it wasn't good enough as an adult to watch without kids.
Yeah.
And then my kids were old enough that I didn't need to watch it with them. So I think Ruby really liked it. But then again, she was at that age where sing-along stuff is really fun. All right. So the next one will be The Incredibles.
Oh, 3 whites across the board. Hands down.
Yeah.
That is an incredible movie. It is. I mean, 2 isn't as good as 1. Usually that's just how it works. But
yeah,
the first Incredibles movie is probably one of the best things Pixar ever did. Or is that DreamWorks?
Incredibles, I believe, was DreamWorks.
Yeah. Either way,
which is probably why it turned out better.
Yeah, it's such a good movie. Like, I can't wait to watch. I'm gonna rewatch The Incredibles again. It's so good. Oh, it's Pixar. Julie said it.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay, that's why.
So the one. Well, and I think I could be wrong. I think The Incredibles came out before Disney bought Pixar. I could be wrong.
Oh, but yeah, I just remember. The one thing I miss about like older like animated movies is they always sprinkled in like adult humor.
Yes.
For like the parents that have to go and watch it.
Yeah.
They don't do that anymore.
It doesn't seem like it's as much.
I don't notice it anymore. Or maybe I just don't watch new animated movies.
I was gonna put Toy Story in there, but that's an easy one. I mean,
that is an easy one.
Those are The Incredibles is easy, but I had to throw in an easy 3 whites.
Yeah.
Just because I was looking up, animated movies. I'm like, what other ones can I put on here? And I'm like, okay, well, that one's too good. That one's too good. That one's too good. And I'm like, I've never heard of like half these that are supposed to be top 100. Yeah. And it's like some sheep movie, Shaun the Sheep. I don't know if anyone's ever heard of that one. There's like 3 of them or 2 of them. They were both in the top 100. I'm like, I never even heard of this movie before. But somehow it's the best thing ever.
I think my favorite though of all time is Surf's Up. I love it's
that's the penguin one. Okay,
dude. Yeah. Well, the reason why I love it too is because they take a bunch of the WSL pros and they use them for all the voices for like spectators and surfer. Oh yeah, and it's hilarious. Like, it's a funny ass movie. It's just really good. Brings
the last
joy
one
to my face.
The last one I have is Aladdin. Does have sing along moments to it.
Honestly, man, I can't even remember the last time I watched Aladdin. And I don't think, like, my mom always liked to tell me which movies, like, we loved as a kid. Aladdin wasn't one of them.
Okay.
So
that wasn't a heavy rotation for you.
It wasn't. We were big on Nicole just said I was always more of like a Jumanji, National Geographic, and like Discovery Channel kind of kid for some reason. But
well, and you were, so let's see. I'm trying to remember when Aladdin came out. When I was like 12 or 13 when that came out.
Really?
So that would have been, yeah.
Well, I gotta Google that.
Okay. Because I swear I was fairly young when that came out. That's one I would give. I'm trying to think.
1992.
Yeah, so I was 13.
Yeah.
So I guess part of mine is a nostalgic type of thing. Let's see. Nicole's a half hour behind work. We're slowing down her work.
Sorry, Nicole.
So part of it's a nostalgia thing for me, I think, with Aladdin. And the other thing is because it was really one of the kind of the leap into the new form of cartoon movies.
Yeah.
Because before that, it was, all I knew of, Snow White and, all
Beauty
and
the Beast and all that
shit.
Yeah.
So Aladdin was kind of, it gave you a little bit more than just the standard Disney. It kind of stepped it up just a little bit.
Yeah. Well, then they throw in that new animation when they were walking through the desert, and the tiger head in the sand.
Yep. Mm-hmm. So I'll go 2 whites. It's not something I'll watch really anymore, but I have fond memories.
Yeah.
Of it.
I'll give it one white just for the actual like it's a stepping stone for movies. It's definitely one of those like a landmark movie. Everyone knows it. Yeah.
I mean, Robin Williams as the genie was incredible. So that's there's those parts of it. So anyway. All right, so that is our show for today with the white lights, red lights. So everyone, well, the few people that were listening got a couple inputs on their thoughts on those movies as well. That's the great thing about white lights, red lights is everyone has a different opinion.
Everyone gets to play.
Yes. Play at home. And if you want to tell me your thoughts on it, you can go to @lifting_ugly and send me anything you would like. You want to complain? You want to tell us how great it is? We'll take all those.
Send us your bad gym stories.
Yes. Yeah. The gym stories to @lifting_ugly. Face of the week, Lifting Ugly Face of the Week, also to there. Next week's Lifting Ugly Face of the Week is going to be basically a grand champion. We're going to do a quarterly grand champion.
Oh.
So I'm going to repost the winners from the beginning till now. And we're going to see which one of those takes the cake for the time being.
Love it.
So if anyone wants to get a hold of us again for any of those reasons, Lifting_ugly on Instagram is the place to do it. Get a hold of Alkai @saltyboy, boy with an I, not a Y, _barbell for all coaching needs and just for the fun of it.
Yep.
For any graphics, art, anything like that, make sure to hit up Zon @zontopia.com is his website, or @zontopia on Instagram. You can show us support with monthly contributions at patreon.com/liftingugly.
Do it.
That would be great. Or also, you can support us with your buying Lifting Ugly gear at liftingugly.com, where you can also do contributions, single payment contributions. We do have different levels there. We did show earlier the different levels that you can also combine. If you wanted to be like super gangster with it, you can combine multiple levels all at once.
Yeah.
Or every month, choose a new level. And we'd like to thank our new sponsor, Pioneer Lifting Belts, generalleathercraft.com. Go there. You can get a customized Pioneer lifting belt. Not a bad price for what you get. They are what we are going to call the gold standard in lifting belts.
And they are sturdy as a motherfucker.
Last for a long, long time.
Mm-hmm.
And even if you just want a general old school style lifting belt, they have those all the way up to the customized powerlifting belts.
Gotta love
wrist wraps, knee wraps, lifting straps.
Oh, yeah.
Wallets, dog collars, all of it. GeneralLeathercraft.com for Pioneer. And then we also want to congratulate again Ethan out of North Dakota for winning the Face of the Week. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been a pleasure to be with you today. We hope you have enjoyed as well. We will see you next week. We'll be up to more shenanigans. Ladies and gentlemen, peace. We're out of here.
Oh, no. Flat lip, belly tuned up. I pay my dues, refuse to lose, so fuck the blues. Ain't your bad news, you can trip if you choose. While I sip booze on a 7-day cruise in Louis Vuitton shoes with floozies by the dudes. The good life, talking about the good life. Live it up for a little while, then go to the hood to get a good wife and settle down. But for now, I'm studying down, refuse to allow myself to live foul like when I was sniffing pals. Still got trials and tribulations. Refinement from cultivation takes patience, I'm waiting. Paper chasing to get a place like Peyton. Politics and interfacing, business relations. Built the empire from the underground, then retire. Who said I was on crack? You's a motherfucking liar. See me in the trench coat but missed the joke, so fuck the hoax. My mission is this, get in position to assist my folks. Get in position to assist my mother, my mother, and my auntie, and my uncle, my folks. You know? Today, baby.